Today I'm going to talk to you about a very famous book. I read it in Spanish. Padre Rico, Padre Pobre. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. By Robert Kiyosaki. I'm going to give you my top insights of this book. Usually there should be an odd number, but I couldn't help it. It will be an even one. I have 4 points for you. The first point is the subtitle of this book. What rich people, rich parents, teach to their children in comparison to the parents of middle class and poor families. Why does he say, what's the difference between what the parents teach? Because financial literacy is taught at home. You learn financial literacy by the conversations that your parents have. Isn't that inefficient? I have to think about the movement of Marlene Corton, Parenting 2.0. We should not leave life skills just to the parents. We are all developing humanity, and we are all developing the next generation. So, if money is such an important matter, why leave it to chance or to the bad level of education, the financial education that you have as parents? Go and get this book, that other book. Dig in this channel, dig in other financial literacy channels. Learn about financial literacy from other teachers. Don't leave it to just chance, to school, to what your parents taught you. Start taking matters into your own hands. Start learning from rich people. Don't learn from people who want to sell you their products. Learn from people who actually have made money for themselves. And that's why I really like this Robert Kiyosaki. The title comes from his own personal experience. When he was 9 years old, he felt himself poor. And he was not poor, he was a middle-class child, brought up by a highly educated father, a man with a PhD, a professor. So this highly educated man was his poor dad. Why? Because he worked for somebody. He didn't have a company that was generating jobs for somebody else. That was poor dad. And poor dad, as poor as he was, as poor financial literacy as he had the wisdom to tell Robert, I cannot teach you financial literacy. You have to learn it by yourself. You have to learn from somebody who knows. And that is when Rich Dad came to the picture. Rich Dad was the father of a friend of his. And Rich Dad was not wealthy at that point. He lived in a really humble house. He didn't wear expensive things. He didn't have new things. But what he did have was that money mindset, that wealth identity. This man is the one who taught him everything that he knew and how he became so financially successful. Because, of course, this Robert Kiyosaki is successful. He did not write the book just as an inspiration, but out of experience. So that's the first point. Financial literacy is a life skill, and we should not leave it to chance. We should not leave it just to what mom and dad taught us. Number two is the the central point of this book. There is one point that you need to learn, is the difference between an expense and an investment. Okay, I bought this book. I paid money for it. Is it directly an expense or an investment? Well, it depends. If I read it, if I understand it, if I apply it, then it becomes an investment. If I take it from the bookstore and put it in my bookshelf, and it just collects dust out there, it is an expense. It costed me all the money that I pay for it, and it cost me all the space that is taking in my house. Imagine if I rented my house, this book is taking space. That's the difference between expenses and investments. Expenses take away your money, and investments give you back money. This is where the little house comes into play. And this is something that he talks a lot about, real estate and your house. Is your house an investment? Is your house an expense? Many people choose for a very luxurious, gigantic house with an equally gigantic mortgage. And he warned us, that is not an investment, ladies and gentlemen, that is an expense. If you really want to be wealthy, you have to live below your means. Check it out. The house of the biggest and most famous investor of all times, Warren Buffett. Is it a mansion? No. It is a very humble house. He's never spent money in that. He invested money in things that will give him money. So, if you buy a house and you rent it, if you buy a house and you resell it, that's an investment. So it's exactly the same as with a book. It's not the house in itself, but it's what you do with the house. That is what makes the difference between an investment and an expense. And this is crucial. If you learn this, the difference between an investment and an expense, that is basically what action you will take, you will become a millionaire. I just see it left, right, and center. Look at the wealthiest people. That is the difference. Point number 3. Once you have understood what's the difference between an expense and an investment, point number 3 is, if you want to make money, you have to see what others don't see. You have to imagine the future. Have you seen all these investors in real estate that they see this horrible house that everybody sees? And nobody buys that house, but that person buys it. Why? Because around it there are other empty spaces, and they can resell it for more to a real estate developer. And in transactions like these, you can triple your initial investment. So, seeing the invisible is what generates money. So, this brings us to a different definition of investing. Investing is not buying something. Investment is using your imagination and seeing the invisible. I find that fascinating. And that's the way he calls it. Number 4, and this for me is really powerful and really inspiring for me right now. You want to make money, you need to make sure you are with people who are more intelligent than you, wealthier than you, more passionate than you, healthier than you, better than you. Do you want really to make money? You have to become the best version of yourself. And to become the best version of yourself, you have to hang out with people who inspire you, who uplift you, who show you what is possible with life. Take your mobile phone and see the people who you have been calling recently. Are those people in the journey? I'm not saying that they have to be wealthy. They can be like the poor dad of Robert Kiyosaki, living in a shack but with the abundance mindset. It doesn't matter how much money they have in their bank account. It matters if they see the invisible. If you want to see the invisible, hang out with people who open your eyes to different realities. So those are my 4 points of Rich Dad Poor Dad. This video comes together with a blog that I have written in my website, blancavergara.com. So if you want to read more about what I think about this book, join us there. And please, it makes me, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, it's really good for the algorithm. It will touch my heart if you give it a like, if you share it, because honestly, we can stop poverty if we start expanding financial literacy everywhere. And what is the difficulty of that? We have the internet. Sharing is caring. Go and share. And, type a comment below. Do you like this kind of video? What other books would you like me to read? What would you recommend? Which is your favorite book? And what is the one thing that you are going to start implementing that Robert has taught us? Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.